Oh, I guess I'm streaming. That was uncomfortable. No one's in here yet though, so it doesn't matter. The first minute or so is always going to be uncomfortable. How do I share this thing? Stream options. Classy, what's going down? Louis official, what's going down? Frank, Pat, CNC, Almighty. How do I how do I share this damn thing? I want to actually share this on YouTube, or my bad, on Twitter. Greg, what's going down? My bad. Doc Squeeze, what's going down? I know there's a way to share this thing. Frank, I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, yeah, there we go. Let me quick tweet this. And then Manny Manhattan Music, major shout out to him. I don't know him, but he deserves a shout out. Everyone deserves a shout out, especially him though. Yeah, I type really quickly. Big Saint, I don't know. I haven't spoken with AK in a while. I should reach out. That's actually a good idea. Just to reach out, because that's, you know, that's a friend. So you know what I'm saying. It's always good to reach out to people. I hate doing it during the holidays because then it seems disingenuous. But I talk to them on and off. I know that. I know that there's. Well, I guess I don't know what they're working on, as far as upcoming projects after the tragic death of Johnny P. So rest in peace to him. People are already hitting me with questions. What makes a producer and not a beat maker? Beat makers make beats. Producers produce songs. I think the term producer has a lot of different meanings, and producers can play a lot of different roles. Everything from engineering to composing to maybe neither of those things. Maybe just telling the session players what to do and telling the engineer what to do to put it all together and telling a beat maker what to do to put it all together. There are such things as vocal producers who just focus on vocals. I actually asked Brianna Marin, the top selling singer-songwriter in the online beat licensing community, I asked her what vocal production is, because she has a lot of vocal production credits with Fifth Harmony, Keisha Cole, so forth, and she explained it. So watch that. I also asked tracks as well, and that's another interview that's on my channel. So if you're interested in that, you know, yeah. So beat makers produce beats, so you could also call them a beat producer, but that's only because the word make and produce are more or less synonymous. So a lot of it is semantic. I don't like getting into this conversation usually because it's usually negative. You know, people are usually using the term beat maker in some sort of diminutive fashion just to diminish what a beat maker does and say, well, you're not a real producer, you're just a beat maker. People try that stuff with me, but they don't know they don't know me, so I take that with a grain of salt. People say all types of stuff. I mean, there's no shame in being a guitar player. You don't have to be a composer, but if you want to, cool, do it. You don't have to be a record producer. You can make beats. That's fine. You can have a career making beats. I learned how to produce early on because when I was in high school, there were always I was the guy making. I was the guy doing everything. I had a lot of bum ass friends who didn't want to learn a damn thing about anything. So Levi was going down. None of the recording artists, none of the rappers that I came up with, I hate to say it, learned how to record themselves or anything. So I was doing it all, and as I was doing that, and I wasn't good at it, I never became an engineer, but I would track. I still track every now and then. As I would track, I would go back to my beat and say, okay, I need to add this, I need to switch this, so it sounds more like a song. I don't just want a 4-bar loop playing. And then the more I worked with recording artists and vocalists, the more comfortable I got with telling them how best to deliver their vocals. And then I started working with session players, and then I got more comfortable with telling them how best to play their instrument and suggesting ways that they could play their instrument on certain parts of the beats or the songs, whatever we were working on. So that's and then I started learning some vocal production. So you know what I'm saying? Slowly but surely, just with experience, I became a producer. Obviously, I started as a beat maker. I think very rarely do you start just as a producer. I think you start as a composer or a beat maker or a session player or an engineer or something. You kind of evolve into that role. But you know, everyone can be successful in whatever they're passionate about. Not everybody's passionate about producing music. Some people just want to make beats. I want to say one thing though, probably more than one thing. Every time I say I'm just going to say one thing, I end up talking too damn much. Happy Thanksgiving, songwriter, Heart of the Pen. So this whole, and I'm not talking about the Juice WRLD Sting Nick Mirror situation, I'm not. But that situation created a lot of dialogue in the producer community, and it showed very clearly how much confusion there is and how much misinformation and ignorance, and beyond ignorance, stupidity. So I'm sorry if I'm about to offend people. I don't mean to offend people. How did I switch the screens with Open Broadcast software? It's really, or Open Broadcast Studio. It's a really great piece of software and it's free. Tyrell, what's going down? So yeah, maybe if you're easily offended, cover your ears or just log off. But do I think neo soul and old school could make a comeback? Yeah, that's all people want to hear now. Ever since that Sierra track with Mike Will, it seems like everything has gone back to the 80s and 90s, especially R&B, especially like LMA. That sounds like 1992 to me, or 1989 or something. So yeah, it's making a comeback. All right, it looks like the numbers have gone up. So if you're watching this, you're not easily offended. I don't say this stuff to be offensive. I say this stuff because it's necessary. I don't want to degrade anybody. I don't want to belittle anybody. I want all of us to know that we as individuals have a lot of power over the producer community. Everyone in here, as a collective and as an individual, you have the power to shape the future of the producer community, and you can use your energy and your resources. It doesn't matter if your platform's small. It doesn't matter if you have a platform. You have a voice. You have energy. You're a human being, and you can use that energy for good. You can use that energy for harm. Now, a lot of people take that for granted. And with this Juice WRLD situation, I had you really get a good understanding of why there's so much ignorance and why the myths in the producer community spread so much. And it's bad, and people think it's all just inconsequential. You know, you got people, there was some guy who said, it's my understanding that you can sample up to 2 seconds without penalty. And I asked him, and it's not me shedding light on negativity, it's not me showcasing negativity, but lies and misinformation and myths have to be confronted. Otherwise, if you just ignore them, they spread. So that was me confronting it not to degrade someone, but to challenge someone. So I said, I said to him, don't spread negativity. You don't know. This is how the myth spread, because you don't actually know what you're talking about, yet you're asserting it. And so his response was, ooh, you're kind of saucy, or some stupid lame old stuff. And that it to me shows me that him and many other producers take for granted their own power. They take for granted the power of their own energy. I'm not saying that guy has a huge platform, but YouTube is a huge platform. The forums are huge platforms. You're a part of that. So you leave a comment. When I was streaming live with Ev McCree, some goofball was in the chat talking about, I can't take this anymore. You can't be serious. These guys are up here spreading lies that producers don't have to clear samples. Producers definitely have to clear samples. It's their responsibility. And it's like, how many Grammy winning, diamond certified, multi-platinum, BMI award recipient producers do I have to interview on my channel for you to get this point that no, producers are not clearing samples for these major label placements? But he was so vehement about it that, you know, it's people would rather win an argument than spread the right kind of information. You know, people will argue to the death, and then the second you prove them wrong, oh, you're being kind of saucy, aren't you? Shut up. So anyway, you can't take for granted the power of one YouTube comment or one forum post or one tweet. Those things spread. On the internet, they spread. And if one person sees that and one person believes it, they can spread that to another 2 people, and then it just keeps spreading. I mean, this is what epidemiologists, I believe, study, you know, how viruses spread, how diseases spread. And ignorance and misinformation, in a figurative sense, they're a disease. And I have seen some awful things happen in the producer community due to the ignorance. So I don't take that lightly. And I don't think any of you should take that lightly. Don't take for granted your energy. So what I encourage you to do is, rather than, if you believe something to be true, just verify it. And if you're not sure, then don't spread it. There's a difference between saying, yeah, you can sample 2 seconds of a song and you're fine. There's a difference between that and asking, hey, is there a minimum or a maximum on how much you can sample without infringing on a copyright? I mean, the answer is no, but at least you asked. Because some impressionable 17-year-old producer, 15-year-old producer browsing the YouTube comments might read that comment that says, yeah, you can sample up to 2 seconds. I've heard it 6 seconds, I've heard it 4, I've heard it 8, I've heard it 12. And then they walk around, and I used to believe it too, because that's how this stuff spreads. One person, all it takes is one person to spread a myth for it to go viral within the producer community. And next thing you know, that little myth that you spread that you thought was inconsequential is actually affecting a young producer to the point where they signed a bad contract, or they didn't disclose sample information and now they're in legal trouble with a label, or they're getting, you know, they're losing opportunities in the industry because they moved in a way that was consistent with a myth rather than a fact. So anyone can be a producer. That's not a good thing, that's not a bad thing. we're gonna talk about TrackLib. I'm in talks with TrackLib right now. I had a conversation with them, and I can tell you that a lot of people misunderstand what service TrackLib actually offers. But I'm not going to talk about that now, because I'm gonna talk to them directly so they can explain exactly what their service is. You know, you can check out the Deborah Manis Garner interview on Curtis King's site. She's involved in TrackLib, and the second that I found out that she was involved in TrackLib, I really understood how serious of a company they are. So that's cool. Stay tuned for that. Recognize your power. Recognize your power. Even if you don't have 100,000 subscribers, you still have a platform, and the energy that you put out in the universe matters. The information you put out in the community matters. So just think twice before you say something. And if you're not sure about something, there's absolutely no harm in asking a question. There's absolutely no harm in recognizing that you might not, especially if you don't have experience yet, that you might not know. It's the reason I don't talk about a lot of stuff. People ask me about mechanical royalties. I don't feel comfortable talking about them. I know very little in the grand scheme of things. So if I experience something like that video I made about the Juice WRLD Sting situation, where I talk about my sample clearance experience with the last Ludacris album, I can talk about that because I have paperwork. I can't talk about what happened with Nick Mira because I don't know. I can't talk about mechanical royalties because to be frank with you, I don't understand HFA at all. It's a big mess. And I'm probably going to try out Song Trust or something because I think they're a little easier. So, you know, that's how that is. But each and every one of you is powerful. Each and every one of you influences how the future of our producer community is in the future. The health, is it going to be healthy? You know what I'm saying? Just take that seriously. I kind of like this progression. I don't know. I love this one chord. What's the chord that I played? Can I not play anymore? What is that first chord? I don't know. Something about that chord. How do I quantize my claps? I don't really. You know what? Let me try something out because I don't ever play stuff live drum wise. I always program drums. So if I don't have to quantize my clap, I just paste it right on the 2 and the 4. Usually. I know that's not a really exciting answer, but it's the truth. Let's try something. This is just a sampler, it's free. Oh, you see this? Decap, Drums That Knock, Volume 7. It just came out. And I got it, so I'm excited. Let's see what happens when I mess with this. Maybe a different one. Let's keep trying these. I think I talked about this in another video, but hi-hats really play a big role in yeah. This is not sampled. I played this. This is a I have not used bass engine. This is a technique that a lot of producers use, and a lot of people wonder how producers program drums that sound live, and a lot of it is just it has to do with the hi-hat. So these hi-hats are not quantized at all, and you can see that they're not anywhere near the grid lines, which is good. I don't want them on the grid lines because now they sound live. And I might be able to, let me see something on my layer. Yeah, rides sound good too. I'm gonna zone out and neglect the chat here and there. Yeah, of course there are tons of. I don't really. Yeah, Drums That Knock is on Splice. Yes. I've been trying to comment on the BeatStars Instagram regarding this. I'd really like to see a new top 15 producer list for targeting ads. I don't know that the ads have really changed all that much. Honestly, I still think it's relevant, but you can check my channel because Mike Trampy, who works for Beats, I don't work for BeatStars. Mike Trampy works for BeatStars, and he handles marketing. So there's a fairly recent video on my channel explaining all of that stuff. Pain one got the game one. I get it. I like it. What else? Oh, someone who appreciates that I don't use FL Studio. Someone named Peter Parker with the... It's not really sarcasm, he's just a little sardonic. It's a subtle difference. Dummy Black Chucks, what's going down? Keith Escobar, I guess you gotta. The only way I grew local buzz was just by working with a bunch of musicians, a bunch of local artists, and then playing shows and working very directly, and then leaving the house. I used to be way more social. The list of the top producers. I don't know why you would. I don't see how that would help. To see the list of the top producers. Because you can't actually target their audience. You can target who likes their page, but I don't know that that's the best idea for running an ad campaign. Because I could say I want to target Murder Beats, but probably half of his fans are producers and the other half are rappers. So it's like, if I'm targeting them to buy beats, I'm gonna waste half of my budget targeting producers who don't want to buy beats. Did I have a day job while making beats early in my career? Yeah, I had. At my peak in grad school, I had 3 jobs. That sucked. My Instagram is DJ Payne 1. I'm DJ Payne 1 on everything. The headphones are Sennheiser HD 280 Pros because Ted Park broke my last pair of ear tools, which don't exist anymore. I really like them. And these snares are loud. Yeah, I neglected. You don't see how using Google AdWord placements to place your video on Cash Money AP. Yeah, but I don't. I mean, theoretically, I don't know. I don't know anyone who has had luck with that. Have I collaborated with Cardiac? Shout out to Cardiac. I know we have beats together, but they're just not out anywhere. I did use duct tape on the headphones, and it only lasted so far. This is Acid. This is not Logic or Pro Tools. People do make beats on Nintendo. I haven't used Studio One. I have it because it came with my interface, but I just haven't installed it. Shout out to Florida. Just because. Because why not? It's snowing here. It really, it doesn't matter what you use. Especially these days. I know this is probably really boring to watch. Young Blaze, of course. My bass line, thank you. I'm glad you like them. I don't ever quantize my my bass lines, really. That is a contact instrument. I know some music theory. Yeah, the bass is, because I don't, it's just boring to watch because I don't quantize the bass lines, so I replay them until I like the way I played them, because no matter what I play, usually it's just I'm gonna stick with the way that I played it. And then I can edit it after the fact, but once you start programming this stuff in, some people can do it really well, some people can program it and make it sound live. It's harder for me to do that. So I go back and forth a lot. Okay, like this. gonna tell me that wasn't boring to watch just now? Shout out to Ghost. What's going down, man? Oh man. Yeah, it's hard to know when you finish, when a beat is finished. Yeah, I still use the tagline. Damn, that hurt. I bought a chain that says DTH, so I'm stuck with it for a while. Unless I want to buy another one, and I don't. Appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know about Logic being the easiest. I don't know what the easiest is. But I definitely don't think that Logic. I don't know. Logic and Acid Pro are very similar. They were programmed by the same person, so So I can navigate my way around Logic, but there are some pretty major differences. So I'll try the same shortcuts in Logic that I'm familiar with, and it just doesn't work out for me, and I get really frustrated, and I'm just banging on the keyboard like a freaking gorilla. Yeah. I don't even know how my tweet went. Well, no one cares. Shout out to all of you who are in here right now. Yeah, for Ghost, what do you use? You use FL or do you use Logic? Wait a minute, Ghost. Wait a minute. I don't think you texted me back. Hold on. But did you text me back? I don't care what DAW you used. Oh, you did. Damn. I didn't text you back. I just exposed myself. I'm texting you right now. Okay, you know what? Yeah, me and Ghost have a dope beat together, but then we added a hook to it. So I'll just I really didn't see that text. I'm sorry. Yeah. When YouTube confrontation goes totally wrong. Let's just upload it like tomorrow or oh no, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Friday. We'll do it Friday. Yeah. Zach did it. That's pretty much me too. Pretty much. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I fixed. So we'll just do it next week. A lot of people. I have a friend in Maine right now. I think. He's in Portland, Maine. Okay, Friday. Yeah. Portland, Maine. It's crazy. He said his internet's horrible too. I have to send him. He's a rapper. I have to actually I have to send him beats like 80 different times just so he can download them. about to embarrass myself again because I forgot what the second chord was. I forgot what the first one was too, if I'm being honest. I literally put those chords down before I hit stream on this broadcast because, you know, I was having all types of problems with my sound card. I almost didn't do this. Anyway, Sky High, who are you? Yeah, I vaguely remember. What was the pointy birthday hat? So this is one of my former students in here apparently when I was a teacher. I saw my trainer at my gym showed me some really weird ghost. This really weird. It's like this dude that has a little kid's voice, and he is okay. Because there was a situation where there was some kind of. I'm all over the damn place. I'm sorry, Sky High. There really was like a weird birthday. So you're not a former student of mine. I don't know. The public schools here, in the high schools at least, it's like 4,000 kids in one. So I've worked in several, and then middle schools too, and elementary schools as well. So, and the university. So very well could have happened. There was a hat incident. Something to do with a pointy hat. I don't know. Yeah, hell yeah, there's a main accent. It's weird too, right? No, I didn't put a kid in the corner with a hat. I don't really remember the story. There was just some kind of hat thing. I'm too immature to do anything like that, or to punish a kid for doing something like that. I was definitely not the math teacher. No. I can't do math. I can do functional math. I was an English teacher. And words I can handle. Math, nah. How many beats do I make a day? This is actually probably the first beat I'm making today. But last week. I can't take you people, man. I'm back. I'm back to the beat. Ghost still in here? It was not. Yeah. It was It was not the conversation. No, we didn't have that conversation about accents. It was with DG, because he's Canadian, and we were talking about. Oh no, it was on Producer Grind. Oh man. Yeah, it was. What happened to Nick Mirror? No, I didn't hear about that Sting situation. So, yeah, they were asking about accents, and I didn't realize the camera was still rolling. So there were probably like thousands of people that heard me say that. Are you using talk to text? Because you said Debbie. Yeah, Max. I mean, it's not, just here, email me. I work with everybody. Yeah, I made a comment about Wisconsin accents, and they were talking about how crazy Canadian accents were. I'm like, it's really not Canadian accents that are crazy. It's Wisconsin accents that are crazy. It's like all of the linguistic craziness has trickled down from Canada past Lake Superior and gotten into the drinking water here in Wisconsin, and we've just taken it to a new level. There's nothing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You know what? Ghost Town Records, Bobby's World, that cartoon. So his mother, I always wondered what foreign, and I'm born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. That's funny. That's a funny story. What was I gonna say? Yeah, when I used to watch Bobby's World, I didn't know where the mother was from. I always thought she was from some European country, and that's why her voice was so weird and her accent was so thick. And then I realized, wait a minute, she's from my state. People talk like that? Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. You start traveling around and actually paying attention to that stuff. I've not heard the Essex. Maybe I have. I've only been to the UK once. No, she's not from Fargo. I'm pretty sure she was from Wisconsin. Because that's what she would always say. She would always. I don't know. Somebody Google it. Yeah. You use R&B music to set the tone for a sexy evening. You use Wisconsin accents to ruin that tone. Yeah, the don't you know that's Wisconsin, man. That's people really talk like that out here. It's not a cute accent. And you got to deal with the fact that there are attractive 20-year-old people talking like they have glass in their throats. Anyway. Yeah, run the beat. Good idea. gonna clean that up later. I mean, that's my drum roll kit. That's my drum fill kit, I should say. Yeah, the Darrell Banks kits are crazy. Period. I use them all the time. All the time. And those drum fill. I'm gonna put out a third volume, and it's gonna be free as well. And then I'm gonna put all three together, and they're all gonna be free. How about that? Crashes. There we go. When I first started using Acid, I was using a step sequencer, and what is a rabbit hole? And I gotta Google that. I could have sworn Q-Tip made that Janet Jackson record. Maybe he didn't. Either way, Dilla's a legend. So is Q-Tip. Yeah, I had a step sequencer and I was just dumping the files in here. Do I use shroom breaks at all? Yeah. Yeah, all the time. And then I ended up just going all the way in to using the grid, because the step sequencer was cool, but at the time swinging your notes wasn't easy. So like if I wanted to make because I started a long time ago, but if I wanted to swing my drums, and this is loud. Let's see something. Decap. I'm actually not making a beat. I'm just showing something. This is the reason I switched to this. Back in the day, this was not easy to do on a step sequencer. All right, 88 it is. All right, decap. So in a step sequencer, you really only had like up to 16th notes. So this is what a boom bap beat would sound like in a step sequencer, one of the early step sequencers, like an Electribe or something. And it's cool, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to make it sound like what they were doing on an MPC, which I could not afford. So that's why I switched over to Acid, because it was really easy. What is a Oh, yeah. How did I learn bass lines? Yeah, I would just listen to. I met some really great bassists. There was one in particular that I wanted to have play on a bunch of my tracks, so I just sent him a ridiculous amount of uh, of of my tracks, and he pretty much said they were all trash. So I just really watched him play, and then I started studying other bass players and the kind of stuff that they do, and they're a million times better than me. But I started just, trying to mimic what they were doing, with a keyboard, and that's how that evolved. If I had to use one kick if I had to choose one kick forever, probably for me something out of Big White Beats Pro Mix 2. But I might change my own mind, because I've been working on a new kit and I'm already like 200 sounds deep in it. So get ready because that is coming. And damn, it's late. I'm gonna bid you farewell. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. That was a lot of people. We still got 120 some up. Never mind, it dropped down to 118 the second I said I'm about to leave. Yeah, so I've been doing this for an hour. I'll be back next week. Everyone be safe. If you eat a bunch, apparently that's okay, says my trainer, as long as next week you exercise with low weight, high rep. I'm not going to do that. Nah, he didn't say I was trash. He just said he didn't like them. I mean, I appreciate honesty. I probably was. This was a long time ago. Clay Mooney, what's the question? Oh, run the beat before I go. Oh, well. I mean. Yes, sir. Appreciate you as well. Oh, I guess there is no other question. Cool, man. I'm going to run the beat one more time once these VSTs load. And all of you have a safe holiday, especially if you're on... Oh, you do have a question. Especially if you're on the road. Safe travels. If I had one beat to send to any artist you never worked with, what would it sound like? I mean, I'd have to know who the artist is. I can't answer that question, because if the artist is like Michael Jackson, I'm not going to send him the same beat I would send Moneybagg Yo. Here's the beat one last time. When you hear this beat the next time, it might be a little different, because that's just kind of what I do. But appreciate all of you. I'm surprised at how many people stuck around. Anyway, be safe, eat well, make a lot of beats. Of course, I'm going to be doing an Unfinished Friday. I do not rest. Peace, everyone.